Test, test, test. Can anybody hear me? Is the microphone working? Yeah. Hello, how you doing, Shepherd's Voice? AJ Blunt was first. Welcome, guys. It's a little bit early still yet. I don't know, man. Like when I click on the StreamYard thing, to just kind of let it sit for a minute, uh, it's good to start with like five people in the chat, but or it says five, who knows. Instead of starting off, like, it's great that AJ's here, like right on time, but then it's like you're just kind of like talking to one person for like 5-10 minutes, and then by the time like you get like all, like, you pretty much have all the information you thought about prior, like, out, and that's all information that you were hoping to get, like talking points and stuff like that, like some feedback too, like certain questions, that certain questions you might like want to pose, like spiritual questions, deep questions, things that we think about, things that we wonder. I mean, there's a lot going on with this, with the jab and I guess the dis-ease, right? But I would say that we are beyond that now. Like, we are beyond this thing being about that at all. This is about something completely different. Because it wouldn't be this important to them for you to get it. like like we're beyond what that, like, mentioning those words doesn't even matter anymore. Like, they want us to use those words to argue, right? Because this is like far worse, right, than anything. I mean, and I'll say it like this, right? Just the fact, right, that every single celebrity, and even beyond that, every single person with a platform in this country is in complete agreement with what the narrative is, right? That alone is scary. You would think that there would be one or two or 10 or 100 dissenting opinions of what's going on, right? Like there would be more, like, it wouldn't be 100% of the people on board. Like, look how we're split in the world, and look how they're split, in the public, in the public eye, right? Like, even the way they're split, they're both compliant. You know, you would think that there would be some opinions, right, that differ or vary, right? And they not only want you to get like two of them, right? They want you to get another one that's going to be three, right? And then they give it to you for free, right? Then they incentivize you getting it. Then they use public pressure to try to get you to get it. Then they use taking away liberties to get you to get it, right? It's like it's more than just um, a dis-ease, right? What does that mean? The four like 4/6, like what is that? Like, and what is 5 times 5? I don't know what that means. Maybe I do know what it means, and I just, maybe I do know what it means. I just don't, I'm not putting it together right now. And it's just weird, isn't it? Like how, so there are some opinions, right, that this thing is messing with DNA of people, right? And, you know, causing some changes in a person's body, right? And then there's a camp that is talking about, um, you know, possible nanotechnology, right? Which I don't know, is that another, you know, how much of that is true? Like really, where is technology um, at this point? You know, like just how much do you know? How much do we? How much do we know about what they can do? What are their capabilities? Like what? Like are they gonna like try to like have some stuff, some like you know electronical stuff placed in our bodies, right? To where we are like um you know with 5G, like you know that's probably a trigger word, but like um you know connected biometrically to like to the internet, like then at that point, right, if we're being like you know, yeah, I think it is gene therapy, is what I think it is. But like this whole idea of being connected to the internet with biometric data is interesting because if that is your identity, right? Because they said that like someone was telling me that can't remember who it was, but someone was telling me they were watching somebody, and they said that like um, the heartbeat data or your blood pressure or something is like more of an identifiable marker than a fingerprint, right? And so like if our ID is biometric, right, and our financial our means of like you know spending money, right, is attached to our body, right, in any way, right, it's very bad because um regardless of how convenient or how awesome they make it, it's very bad because all they have to do if they're upset with you, right, is turn you off, you know, and you know, I mean, possibly even kill you. But like, let's say they just turn off your ability to spend money, or and turn off your ID. Like, it would just be it'd be over. You know, like you couldn't survive. You know, and that's if they couldn't kill you at turning you off. You know, like immediately. And so I don't think people understand, right? Yeah, yeah, I could see how the kids would fall for it, right? But um, any decision that's a this for that decision is a bad decision. Like if you say I gotta wear black pants, right, and I can only have liberty and go where I want as long as I'm wearing black pants, and you know everything is fine. I can go to work. I can go to you know, but the black pants I have to wear all the time. Well, that's a decision, even though it's not that harmful. It's a decision I can't make because then you know my grandkids have to wear the pants. You understand what I'm saying? Like for me it's fine, I can operate with it, right, because I'm making that decision, right? But once you do it, it doesn't go backwards, right? Like it will go down the generations. Okay, now the black pants are part of it, And so now your grandkids are wearing the black pants and they have to wear the white shirt now, or whatever, And so it's pretty insane, man, to think that it's not that innocuous, right? That it's some kind of crap that they're gonna, I mean, look, let's not forget that only 50 years ago, um, the government was doing Tuskegee experiments. Like, I mean, let's not forget that, right? I mean, let's not forget that from the 30s to 1970, they were doing Tuskegee experiments. That is the same government, that's offering this free, you know, I can't even say it, because, just because of whatever, And it's sad. It's sad, man. Like I never thought that I would ever be, especially a veteran, right? A veteran in the United States Army, right? I never thought I would ever be in America and have to watch my mouth on a public forum. I mean, okay, to be respectful of people, yes, right, but not. You know what I mean? I never thought there'd be a time where I would never be able, or where I wouldn't be able to say what I want to say, and that's a very it's a very scary thing, man. It's so now, okay, so with the jab, Dev Sailor, you're saying kids over 12 can accept that? Because I heard it was 16, but um I heard it was 16 over here. But see, that raises questions, right? Because if there's something infectious, right? Let's say bacteria, right? The kids are going to be the ones that are going to be spreading it the most, like the kids are like the are like the culprits, you know what I mean? They're always touching each other, always touching themselves, touching their mouth, everything, right? So you're thinking that, like, if if there is a real bacterial infection out there, the kids are going to spread it, right, the most, right? And so to say that um nothing is approved for kids, right? And they're okay, they don't need it, but adults need to go out and get it, right? It kind of has that. It kind of has that age of accountability, mark of the beast feel to it. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say that that's what it is, but it has that kind of feel to it, if you know what I mean. It's a little creepy, to say, okay, well, the most infectious group of human beings, right, don't have to get it. Everyone else does, right? And at us at 12, which is not 18, right? They can choose to be, um, to get it or whatever, right? That is an age of accountability type feel, because what are the age for bar mitzvahs, right? Like 13, right? And um, that's when a boy becomes a man in that culture. And so you wonder, right? Like, okay, so like when we're um, accepting medical procedures, what is the age of accountability, right? And I'll tell you what, yeah, I like, here's the thing, that Sailor, right? I can't take it. I can't, right? This is something that I can't do, just because of future generations. Even if this is completely what they said it was, which it's not, right? But even if they said, completely what they said it was, right? I cannot do it. This is something that I guess I have to be willing to die about. Not, I guess. This is something I'm willing to die for, And it's not because Yeah, you know what? That's the thing that creeps me out, mystical. I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen you before, but welcome. Yeah, they need to talk about like eating healthy, drinking water, um, getting enough vitamins, right? Talking about boosting your immune system, right? These are things, right, that should be talked about constantly if there's an infection out there. And these things are not being talked about. So it makes me think that talking about an infection is a waste of time on this show. I just don't even think that I don't even think that we should even discuss that or the thing. I think what we should discuss is what they're trying to do. Like what do we let's speculate a little bit. What do we think they're trying to do? Because there was a couple of videos that I've seen that were a lot of speculation from truthers that I respect but don't fully believe, and that said that it comes along with some symptoms of psychosis, right? That the third one makes people think irrational, delusional stuff. Now, what that sounds like to me biblically is God said that He would cause a lot of people to have strong delusion in the last days. And so to have something to blame that phenomenon on is very convenient for the opposition. Not saying that's what it is, right? But definitely interesting, right? To think about that, right? And so, yeah, it's just, I used to say things like, oh, yeah, that's interesting, or oh, that's something to think about. But now I'm starting to think that this is like is sad. And if you're not comfortable with yourself spiritually yet, right? It can be very scary. And even if you are secure in your spirituality and you know where you're going when you die, right? Um, it could be scary to think that something would damage you in some kind of way where you'd have to live impaired. Well, hey, Michelle X, I mean, when I think about things like that, right? It's that I think, that's not the worst thing that I could be looking at. You know what I mean? Like if they said, yeah, you could, I don't know, take the gray pill or whatever, and and you're out of here, or you got to take all these jabs or whatever, and comply and wear the pants and all this, right? I'm not, yeah, then just give me the gray pill, right? That's not the thing I fear the most. The thing I fear the most is so like nobody wants to be sick, right? Or watch their kids be sick, right? That's the worst thing for me, right? And so, or to watch my friends be sick or, suffer in any kind of way, right? I don't want, like, how, like, I say I never got into all those shows like The Walking Dead and all that, but like I had like friends and family members that were like addicted to that show and watched all the after shows and all that. But like, I mean, can you imagine if that was reality? And it sucks that we have to like talk about like that is a possibility, right? Because people are already acting like that mentally, right? Like there are people already behaving like they can't think critically for themselves anyway, and that's very scary. That's a very scary scenario, man. That if I can't in 2 hours, right, convince a reasonable person, right, that we're not moving, then what chance do I have? You know, I mean, they were able to get us to accept that we're in four different orbital motions, right? Um, uh, four different 11 vectors, right? All at the same time, and we don't feel any of that. And that not only do we not feel any of that, like, but if you had a like regular pendulum sitting on your desk, it wouldn't move for a decade if you didn't touch it, you know? That's pretty strong brainwashing, buddy. And so, you know, I don't know. I mean, that sailor, I would always recommend that, right? Like, always eat a diet that's good for you, right? Try to eat as healthy as you can, right? And drink plenty of water and you know, and all that stuff. But I mean, do I think there's any kind of like dis ease out there? Uh, yeah, no, not like not what they're saying, you know. And like I'm at the point where I think nothing has changed. There's no difference between now and 1990, you know. Like if I go outside, right, it looks the same to me, except that except that the skies are full of that crap, you know. You know, what's the weather's not different. Like, I mean, if I mean, it's weird how like people's lives have become watching this box, right? Where if you just turn off the box, right, then it all goes away, you know. And I'm not saying that there isn't, you know, things to worry about, right, and an awareness of the world that we should have. I'm not saying that, but I don't think that the world works in countries like they're making it out to be. I don't think that certain things on the news and you know wars between countries are the way they say it. You know, I think a lot of these people are all in bed together. You know, I mean, I think they're all on the same team. Yeah, we don't know. See, here's the thing. I think it's safe to say that even on YouTube, right? We don't know the long term effects of this thing. There's not even a doctor out there that could tell you that, right? And so, you know, to be concerned, right, of long term effects, right, on something that was rushed and not approved, right away, it's like that's not unreasonable to be suspicious, right? Especially with given the history of you know things going on in this country, like you know Tuskegee experiments and all that stuff, right? Like I mean, nefarious stuff, right? And so I think there's a lot of people that have the right to be suspicious and even decline any of it and have you know a reasonable right to do that. But the use of public pressure, right, is strong, you know, because I don't think that really the um, you know governing you know body or whatever can really do anything. I don't. I think it's us doing it to each other. I think that's how they get us, you know? It's like they get us to consent by getting us to go against each other over things that probably don't matter. We should be asking, well, why do they want us to get it so bad? Like to the point where they're incentivizing it and giving it away for free and paying you. Like if there was like a you know a bug ravaging this country, right? Like we wouldn't have to be told to get it. You would rush out and get it. You know, I mean, it would be apparent in your community what's going on. You know, you wouldn't need to wait for someone to tell you to get something to get it. You know, and you know, hey, like, I mean, I guess you can make an argument against that or whatever. What I'm saying, but like it would be apparent, don't you think? Like that there'd be a problem. You know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and see, like, I would say this, right? Like, No. I'm saying that yeah, there is that out there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there isn't what they're saying is right now. I don't think, Tanya. I don't think so. Because it's like it's too politicized, right? Like it wouldn't be politicized if it was like, yeah, it's hard to explain, right? Like um everything would be handled much differently. And it's when something doesn't come out like in an organic kind of way, right? If they have to pay you or chase you down to get like a cure that on the box doesn't even claim to get rid of the disease, and on the box claims that it doesn't know what the long-term effects are. You know what I mean? Like on the box, right? The manufacturing information says if you take this thing, right? It doesn't say this exactly, but it says it doesn't claim that if you take it that it will prevent the infection. It says you could still get it. And so what's the point, right? What's the point of something that if you get, you're probably going to be asymptomatic, which means no symptoms, which I don't even know how they'd be able to tell you have it. And then, and you're like 99 point something percent chance to survive it. It's a mystery to me that you would want to take something foreign, though it's been rushed, right? That doesn't even claim to stop the infection. So I don't know, man. I'm just talking about, cough drops, man. I'm just talking about candy here because I live in America and I can just, free speech, right? I mean, it is ridiculous nowadays, you know? I mean, I'm starting to think that most churches are like controlled opposition, you know? I'm starting to think that, like, okay, so like when you become a flat earther, right? And there's this, flat earth society, right? Where there's all this ridiculous stuff being taught there that, if you were like seriously going to look at flat earth, you would look at it. There's some interesting stuff there, okay. And then like some stuff that will never work, right? That just seems stupid, right? Well, I'm starting to think that that's what church is. You go to these big churches and they're already set up against the real image of what God is. And so like how they trick you, right, is when you get to that point, right, where you think, oh, okay, well, all these churches are controlled opposition, especially the real big, kind of pagan evil ones, right? Like especially those, but even your local, regular church, right, is controlled op, right? Then it sucks you into the new age crap, which is just, another form of Satanism. And so now you're like, there's so many deceptions lined up, right? To where the only real church you can have, right, is if you have a group of people that read the Bible for themselves and know for themselves who God is for themselves, so we can fellowship and maybe sharpen each other up. Because I mean, to produce a new believer, right, is so rare nowadays, right? I mean, God has to produce all new believers. Like God saves everybody. Like if you're running a channel to try to get people saved, right? It's you got then just be prepared for the fact that um, God is the one that saves people, and God is the one that produces new believers, because I can only say that only one person from when we started this channel, me and Tom, about a year and a half ago, till now, right? Only one person has come to our channel, heard about God, and gotten saved. One person, right? And of course, I mean, if one person gets saved, it's worth it, right? And of course, God does all the watering, right? We plant the seeds, and who knows, right? Who knows? Like, those seeds get watered, and maybe people get saved in the future. You never know, right? And so, it is what it is, right? But I mean, it's just starting to get insane, guys. And I don't want to say the country, but down under, right? If you know what I'm talking about, right? It's real bad out there. Like, I mean, there's people, I mean, in the streets, uh, having to be very different than their regular lives were 2 years ago. It's not supposed to be going exponentially this fast. Like, I mean, I guess it is, right? Nothing happens in God's world by mistake. And, I believe that, the end times are just something that's like designed to get the most amount of people to get saved. I think God designed it perfectly for that. That sometimes you don't realize that God is all you need until God is all you have. And so, yeah, and of course, right? Um, well, 4 round corners of the earth, right? Well, it would be like a square, right, with a circle etched in the middle, right? So north, northwest, east, south. But that will happen. Everybody will hear the word if they haven't heard it already. Because what they want you to believe is that there's some kind of like indigenous tribe somewhere that's never heard of Christianity, and that's not true. That's not true at all. Because after the flood, when they were building the Tower of Babel, and God changed all the languages, right? So they couldn't understand each other, and split them up onto every continent of the earth. Everybody knew who God was. That's why there's so many stories, right? That um, have like a Christ figure coming, a savior coming. And so, like, at the time, right, at the time of the Tower of Babel, I mean, the feel of the I mean, it was a time where everybody was upset with God. I mean, so like you're gonna have all these different languages, right? All these in every language you're gonna have a different name for basically the Antichrist, or fake savior, Nimrod, or whatever, right? And so I mean, we're at the point now, mystical, where I mean, denying the fact that Jesus is our savior is just like, it's a formality. Like, if you're a truther and you dig enough, you'll either find out and accept it, or you'll find out and reject it. And you have the free will to do either way. But the information is out there. I mean, if someone would act reasonable, I could almost prove God within 2 hours. But that's the problem. You can't find people that are going to sit there and be reasonable. It's not about whether or not you could see all these things. I mean, it's not about learning the truth. It's about, are you able to even hear the truth, right? Like, there are people without even the ability to hear the truth. being taught. Like I could hand the truth to somebody, every detail, you know, reasoned out perfectly, and you know, to even get somebody to turn that on and watch it, right, is an ability that they have to have. And so, you know, it is what it is, you know. You have a blessed day too, Tanya. I'm glad that you came, you know. Um Give me a call later if you want. It's up to you. But I haven't heard from you in a while. God bless you, kiddo. Um and so like I mean it's we're almost at the point now where like, so here's the thing, right? If the Bible is not true, right? Being a truther this deep into everything, right? And I know the Bible is true, but let's say I'm not at that point yet, right? Hypothetically, right? Let's say if the Bible is not true, then I would say that nothing is true. And I think that that's a you know, that's where you're at. If there's no other truth, you know, like I used to think that there was like many paths that all lead to like the same place, you know, and you know, everyone would find it in their own way or something. And I was just naive to how it works, you know. And do I want it to be that way? Sure. I want everyone to be right and everyone to be comfortable, and I want everyone to find it the way they want, and you know, for everything that they do in life to be accepted and included, you know. Of course I want that for everybody. I want everybody to be accepted exactly the way they are and understood for who they are, and loved and cherished, and you know, I want all that for everybody, right? But you know, the hard part is, right, this is the hard part, is there is one truth. I didn't make it up, you know. And if I don't tell you what it is, then I'm not giving you a chance to save your own life. Now, the good news is, right, that out of all the things that could be true, we get a gift of grace in a grace period to go to heaven for free. Um, no charge to us, right? And we get eternal life in you know, everlasting contentment, which I think is pretty fair, considering that our creator, anybody or anything that creates us, could do whatever they want with us. And so, you know, to be mad at God for any of this, right, is like, well, you know, considering of what it could be possible, right? We could have been, you know, created by a big purple monster that is going to eat us eventually, right? Like, and that's his business, right? You know what I mean? And is it different than how I would do it? Maybe, yeah, maybe I would do it different, but I have a little peanut brain. You don't want me making decisions that are going to affect everybody as a whole, you know? Am I, you know, Mr. Forgiving and Mr. Inclusive? Of course I am. Of course I am, you know? But there's God's way and then there's the wrong way, and God's way leads to you know, being saved and, you know, having everything great. Hey, God bless you too, Michelle. Thank you for coming. And yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about a video, but I'll ask you later. Thank you so much for coming. You have a good day. Always appreciate you coming. And so, you know, I mean, you know, it's I hate to always be the one to tell people, "Hey, this is the way it is," you know. But I'm not like, trust me on this, right? I'm not embarrassed of God. I'm happy and proud, right? And I love God with all my heart because I know that everything that is being offered is way more than I deserve. And so the way it is great, right? Whether you want to accept it or not, that's on you, you know? And so I think that because you have God given free will, right? Because God respects your your dignity, right? Enough to let you make a choice if you don't want it or not, right? And so I can understand that. And so if you don't want it, you don't want it, but that's the way it is. And I'm not speaking directly to you. I'm just speaking in general. I don't mean to I hope you don't think that I'm being all pointed with my stuff, but that's just the way it is. I mean, but I mean, I love God with all my heart. This is my favorite thing to talk about. This is all I want to talk about. When people call me, that's all I talk about, and I wear them out with it. Because I think it's great, and I can't wait for God to come back. I want Him to come back this minute, right? And I know a lot of people that think that I'm being negative by saying that I think the end is near, or think that I'm being some kind of false prophet by saying it's going to be soon or whatever. But I only say that because I'm excited for it to happen. I want it to happen. Not because I want, nothing is going to end. It's just going to get better. I mean, it will be better when God is in control. I mean, God is in control of everything, but it'll be better when God's here and we're all glorified. It'll be better. And so, to want it any other way than that, I can't imagine. I can't imagine wanting to hang on to anything here, more than having God come back this instant. Because I am ready, and so that's just how I am. But well, I'll just say that I'm really grateful that you guys came out. I was hoping to have some people on, man, today. And I know that I bring that up a lot, and I get it. It's hard to sometimes get people to want to come up or whatever, but if you guys ever do, I wouldn't mind having a longer show, and but we did go 50 minutes today, which I think is pretty good. And I just I mean, I like where we are at this point, right? I like the amount of people that are in here that are completely bought into God's plan. I haven't had this many people like me in one group ever, and it's like honey to my ears hearing you guys talk about it, because that's what I feel inside. So anyway, I'm just, I'm really grateful for you guys. Thanks for coming, AJ, Michelle, and Mystical, and Amanda just showing up at the last minute, and Sever's Voice, and Paula, and Sheila's there, Dutch Sailor, and you know, I just want to say, I'm grateful for you guys, and try to be good to each other, and let's be here for each other, and God bless you, and of course, praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace. Pray for the kids, of course, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Be good.